Hi guys, I hope you're all keeping well and safe. Welcome to another episode of Early Years Matters TV. Today is going to be all about transition in the early years. Are you an early child educator or a parent that you want to know more about transition in early childhood? This video is for you. Watch it to the end. So let me start by defining what is transition in the early years, or what do I mean by transition? So transition is the process whereby the young children, they move from one turn to another, they move from one activity to another, they move from one environment to another. And it's not just only the young children moving from one environment or from one activity to another. It's all about you, the educator or the parent, supporting these children to transition properly. Transition is not just all about the young children moving from one activity to another, one environment to another, but you also have a role to play as an early childhood educator and as a parent. All about you supporting the children to adjust to this transition or to these changes, and whereby you're taking into consideration their well-being. So this is what transition in early childhood is all about. It's all about the young children moving or transitioning from one, maybe perhaps from one activity to another, from one environment to another, from one situation to another. And it's not just all about you letting these children do this on their own. It's going to be with your support, either as the early childhood educator or as the parent, supporting these children adjust to these changes. So it's not just all about their transitioning from one environment, from one activity to another. You're supporting them to adjust to these changes, and this will have a positive effect in relation to their well-being if you support them to transition well. So now let's talk about some of the things that you can incorporate into your early childhood classroom or as a parent to support those children to transition from either one activity to another or from one environment to another. So now let's talk about visual aids. Yes. So when you have visual aids, it helps the children to transition smoothly from one activity to another. Maybe for instance, it's time for lunch. Maybe then are engaging in free play, and then they are moving over. It's going to be time for their lunch or for their snack. So if you have an image or you have a visual image to show that they are moving on to snack time or they are moving on to lunch, for maybe a visual image of box with food in it, or of a child, eating their snack. And you put this up to show to the children that boys and girls, in the next 10 minutes, it's going to be time for us to have our snack or to have our lunch. So the children understand that next they will be moving on to having their lunches or to having their snacks, as a result of you showing them the visual image of what they are moving on to next. So can you see that this is going to support the children to transition smoothly to having their snack or their lunches? You're not just going to say, boys and girls, time up now, we're going to have our snack, we're going to have our lunches. It doesn't work that way. Imagine yourself as well as an educator, as a parent. Let's say, for instance, you're watching TV, you're relaxed in your sitting room, and then somebody just come. What was just to flip the remote and they move it to another channel. They move it, don't like. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel bad. You're going to give out. So the same thing with the children as well. This is where empathy comes in. You put yourself into the shoes of the children. Maybe perhaps it's free play time, they're enjoying free play, and then out of the blue moon, you're just saying, well, boys and girls, we're going outside, without giving them prior knowledge. So using visual aids is one way that you can ensure that the children transition from one activity to another. Timer. So timer, you're giving them time. You have a timer. So one thing about timer is it's visual as well. You can see this. Maybe you get a sand timer. It's sand. Sell it in the shop. It's a sand. What you do is, maybe if you want the children to activity, you show them the timer, the sand, and you turn the light up, and you told them, boys and girls, okay, we're moving on to another activity now when the timer stops. So they know definitely that it's countdown time, that when the timer stops or when the sun stops, they are moving on to another activity. So they are aware already. It's not just something that you say, boys and girls, stop whatever you're doing now, we're going outside. How would you feel? They're going to feel bad. They throw tantrums, they're not happy, they're kicking because they're so much engrossed in the activity, in what they're doing. But when they have timer, they know ahead of time, they know ahead of stop. I'm moving on to another activity, I'm stopping, or I'm tidying time. So the children are aware already. It's not just something that happens spontaneously. They know that at the end of the timer, when there's another activity. So you could also get you count down as well. So the children knows already that when the alarm stops, maybe the alarm is for 10 minutes, and they know that when the alarm stops, they are moving on to another activity, or they are stopping what they are doing. At least they are aware. There's something to show them, something as a countdown that they are, this is over, that when this is transitioning to another activity. Next video, I'm going to continue in relation to how you can encourage to transition from one activity to another, or from one environment to another. If you found this video helpful, kindly subscribe. Not just only subscribe, turn on the bell so that whenever a new video is being dropped on this channel, you'll be the first person to be notified. And until I come your way next time, stay safe and mind yourselves for now. Bye.